In a gymnastics competition, an athlete's final score is calculated by taking 75% of the average technical score and netting 25% of their artistic score. All scores are out of 10. One gymnast has 7.6 average technical score. What artistic score does the gymnast need to have a final score of at least 8? Remember we talked yesterday that at least means greater than or equal to. Give me 8 or greater. 8 or greater is acceptable. Okay, so I know there's two types of scores. There's a technical score I'll call T, and there's an artistic score I'll call A. So the technical plus the artistic. We also know that we're going to take 75% of the technical score and only 25% of the artistic score. So I'm going to turn it into a decimal instead of putting it as a percentage. And I know that has to be greater than, it has to be at least. So greater than or equal to 8.0. Now what I do know is I know that this particular gymnast has scored a 77.6 for her technical. So now I'm going to write 0.75 times her technical score of 7.6 plus 25% of her artistic has to be greater than or equal to 8.0. Okay, grab a calculator and multiply. 7.75 times 7.6. And then we're going to isolate the A. So what does that look like? Give me a second to grab a calculator. Okay, so I have 5.7 plus 0.25A is greater than or equal to 8.0. Then I'm going to isolate the A by subtracting 5.7. Sorry for the mess here. So I have 0.25A is greater than or equal to 2.3. And then I'm going to divide by 0.25 to isolate the A. And I get an answer that A needs to be greater than or equal to 9.2. Now what's most important about this is after you get an answer, you make sense of it. So the question is, what is the artistic score that's needed for the gymnast to have a final score of at least 8.0? So this gymnast needs an artistic score of at least, needs an artistic score of at least 9.2 to receive a final score of at least 8.0. And I'd like you to write that as a sentence. The one thing I do want to change here is at least should have a line underneath in the PowerPoint. Moving on to number 11, public transportation. All right, so between 8.5% to 9.4% of Phoenix's population reported using public transportation on a regular basis in 2015. In 2015, the city's population was estimated to be 1,563,025. Which mathematical inequality represents how many people use the transit system on a daily basis? We have some options. Okay, so I want you to know that 8.5% to 9.4%. If you take 8.5%, turning it into a decimal is 0.085, and 9.4% is 0.094, we get a final answer of E.